Another day, another chance, another win, another dash. JRP.
Sorry.
That's
You have to share your screen.
okay. I'm gonna share it now. Don't worry about it. Um, Today we'll be going over chapter 7. Right, I'll be going over chapter 7. My driver. Yeah, his name's Ernest. I'll pretty much be doing like
Okay.
chapter 7. Yeah, so he's gonna be driving the lessons. Pretty much different from how we usually conduce it, but I mean conduct it. But yeah, that's what you're gonna be doing. So let's get to this and let's go. I just need to share my screen first, and then we're gonna pretty much dissect everything that we need to dissect.
Okay, I can see your screen now.
Okay, hold on. I just want to delete this thing. Alright, so as you can see, chapter 7, getting data from RESTful APIs Axios. In this chapter, you'll see how to call backend services to get data through RESTful APIs with the Axios library. So what we're pretty much doing is we're pretty much getting like our APIs for user datas with the full URL. So that's what you're pretty much doing. Yeah. So what we're doing is we pretty much using with the use of APIs, we pretty much taking our APIs and we our RESTful APIs and we implementing it so that we will be able to get users or GitHub users. So what happens here is you insert your so it's pretty much a GitHub search app. So you pretty much this is a precursor to like chapter 8 where you actually implement the Bootstrap APIs. So what to recap on API is an API is pretty much it's pretty much something it's pretty much a link that you get an online link that you get online that pretty much is responsible for your functionality for a lot of your functionality, which pretty much a diversion from Python where you get all of your functionality locally. With the implementation of APIs, you get all of your info and functionality globally. So you get everything that you need to get via your online library. So as you can see here, we got total count, results, so on and so forth. So I'll pretty much be going over to the summary as Ernest is pretty much going to be describing the code for us. But yeah, I'm going to go over to the summary in a jiffy. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. So just hold on a second. So in this chapter, we pretty much learned how to implement a GitHub user search application by connecting our React app to the GitHub RESTful API using Axios promises, components, lifecycles, and displaying a loader icon. So that's pretty much what we need to get from this lesson. That's pretty much what you need to know about in regards to what we're dealing with here. So yeah,
Okay.
Ernest, yeah, I pretty much introduced the lesson. Now it's time for you to describe what we just talked about. Now,
Okay. So if I go on to my
I'm,
GitHub.js,
I'm on your screen now.
um,
I'm on your screen now.
application, what we are just gonna do is we're setting an application where we can search and we can get data from an API online, which is gonna be the GitHub RESTful API. So we start by we import React, we import Exos, and we install it. We also import our React loading. We're gonna have a loading icon, and then we also import a card from React Bootstrap card. Here we have a class of GitHub extends the components. We have a construction, a super, and then this state is equal, which will be the data which we're going to be receiving.
Yeah.
To go into an empty, what can I say? An empty, to be in an object which will have like the data, and then depending on if the loading is true or false,
An empty
um,
object.
it will affect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we have handle changes, which a function or a method which will handle the this which will handle the states, which will just target our search terms, and then add this parameter which we've given here, e-target.value. And then we have a component, a component that, in other words, this component here, component did mount this GitHub data. So this argument we're giving it here is the name which we're gonna search in our GitHub API or in our GitHub RESTful API. And how do we search? So
Yeah.
we use a search form with handle changes plus handle submit. So that's how we search. We control the components. We control components, update search terms, state on every key press, and then we load the state on loading. Show the spinner while loading, while waiting for the API response. How do this function or this method of of get GitHub data, which will take in the parameter of search term, and then in the body we will have Axios, which Capello mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So we say Axios dot get,
Yeah.
and then we go onto our GitHub. We go into our GitHub root. In our GitHub root, would give it our argument, which we initiated at first, class, the name we are searching for, then we will respond with a new state. We will respond with this set state is loading false, and we also gonna get a response of a data with the response and data item. So basically, what this is doing here, once we searching, our icon will be false, and now we will get a data of of what we're searching of or what terms we're searching for. And then we have a render method in the class, which will basically render our our users or the terms which we have searched for. We declare a variable of list users, which will be the state and state data and map users. This is a function. The function of map will take in the argument of users. And then what are we going to do with the users? We have a card here which will hold each user. And what are we saying? Well, what are we saying? This card to display. It's gonna from the initial search, which we've searched in our GitHub. Any user we find there, we're gonna take that user ID and embed it onto this card. We're gonna take information from GitHub, and you see our card has a styling. We'll see that in the front end, and we will just embed all the users' information, like it's the user ID and a picture, and then we would have in the body of our card we would have I think this this is later now in chapter 8. Okay. In our card body, we have a title of login user, and then we have the class. We have class name, which has the ID of the users, and then we return a div. We return a div of GitHub users result. This and then this state is we would have what you can see here. We have a we did this in the previous chapter where we used what can I say, conditional rendering. So we have a conditional rendering here where we have the states, this state, the state of the loading or the state of our search terms, and its loading state. And we also have a React loading, and then type in other words, we'll have the state of our search term, and then we will also have our loading icon. So it depends on, remember, conditional rendering. It depends on if we get a result of the users we're finding, then we're gonna render the users we're finding. If we don't get it, and if we don't get it in the while waiting for what we search for or who we search for, we will have a loading icon. And once we retrieve that data or that information, we will then display our users using the card which we have here. And that's basically that. And then we go on to our app.js. Our app.js, we import GitHub GitHub component, and then we call it here in the return statement for this functional app. And that's what we have basically for chapter 7. If I go on to show you what our chapter 7 is doing in the front end, we would see from our code
Yeah.
in our GitHub.js. We would see we gave it this argument of Greg, and now you can see through our GitHub we getting the users name Greg with their avatar or their picture, and basically that. If I go on and take out this component here, all I would have all I would have is gonna be the loading icon. You see, it's gonna load, and load. But if I give it a different argument here, it will go on and search for that user in my GitHub RESTful API. So I don't know. In conclusion, what this is just doing is, or let me just add on this component peak mount. So originally it fetched data, then later removed since the search. Um, okay, that's something else. That's something else. But yeah, basically that's what our application runs. We gave it functionalities, and we'll be using Access to import our GitHub users. Cabello, do you want to add anything or ask a question?
Not at all. Not at all, man. Not at all. That's pretty
Yeah, so
much. Yeah.
yeah, that's basically our chapter 7. Our chapter 7.
Right. Well, in my case, I don't. Do you want to see something on my screen?
Uh, it's not going to be that rinse and repeat of what I have in my front end, or your front end is looking different.
No, it actually looks
Like I
different.
said,
No, it looks different.
from the card.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty much
Because,
a GitHub user finder.
okay,
Yeah. So it pretty much finds the GitHub. Yeah, for person. Right, so as you can see here, I got my GitHub username. So that's actually my username, Gavin Avelini. And what that does is it pretty much fetches my repository. Oh, okay. And then I got the list of all the repositories that I've made so far. It's just reloading
Okay.
now.
Like, it's basically the same thing. It's just that my one doesn't have like a search icon, which I need to add.
Yeah, it's pretty much it's pretty much the same thing. Except my one, it's just different. I put a lot of more emphasis on the fact that you're trying to fetch the username. Well, it's pretty much the same
Okay.
thing. Yeah, so it's just repositories, then get up username, and then my debugged version.
Okay.
Yeah, I was, I was thank you very much, Ernest. Thank you very much for navigating my video. We're gonna be moving over to my chapter 8. I was thank you very much for navigating my chapter 7. Take care, God bless, and I'll see you in my
No
next
problem.
video. Thank you very much, man. Thank you.
All right.